Today on the Tim Marner Podcast Show, we've got James O'Keefe from the Unguarded Warrior. Mate, thank you so much for coming on, brother. Honestly.
I appreciate it, man. So much.
Really
Thank
grateful,
so
mate,
much.
for you to come on.
I'm absolutely honoured.
Just tell me about the Unguarded, because what I've tried not to do is delve into too much, so I can get this as natural as I can. Tell me about the Unguarded Warrior and why is it called Unguarded Warrior, and why you set it up and stuff.
Just first of all, thanks for having me on. Really grateful, honoured as well. So every time I come and get to waffle on, is always an honour. So thank you. But what is Unguarded Warrior? Oh, mate. So Unguarded Warrior is born out of pain, like most good things in life. Yeah. I think it was a scratch I had to itch. Like, I'm sure what you do in your life, with this podcast and stuff, and more, I'm sure we'll get to find out. But it was through all the trauma and mad, crazy shit that's happened in my life that I was like, What is that? Like, just give me a snippet of... Oh, mate, there's so much.
Give me some snippets of the darkness, like what we're talking.
From really young, kind of, parents splitting up, then dad dying when I was 16, getting kicked out of my house when I was 15 and a half, just violence, football. I was a football hooligan, violence, then drink, drugs, the usual, drug dealing, on to kind of more dark stuff, drug dealers wanting to do stuff to me back then. This was like when I was in my, early 20s. And then, going through all the usual stuff you do in life, and then in my kind of late 30s, just stress, work, 100 hours a week like a maniac. And then loads of really dark stuff came. Then, I lost a load of money. That was bad. I had gangsters trying to extort me for money at gunpoint and all of that, and like just phoning me all the time, and just really, really dark kind of stuff that went on for a long time. It was just this crazy environment. It was like the best time in my life and the worst at the same. The last 15 years have been the best and the worst. Yeah. So it's all of that, and it's finding a way. I've wanted to kill myself a couple of times. I've been in that dark situation where I imprisoned myself and was like, I've got no other way out. And I think men do that a lot. I think particularly men do that a lot. That's why I started, for the last 20 years I've been working on myself, to try and find why felt...
At what point do you think I need to start working on myself?
Every time I used to get up in the morning.
Was there not a cathartic moment where you kind of thought, fuck, and now I need to do it? Or has it just been a gradual process or what?
I was always mental.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I was always the nutty one, and I always thought, maybe it's just me, I've just got a lot of energy or whatever, but it was always something in there. I always had to go too far, or, do you know what I mean? Or like on the drugs, I'd be the maniac one. You always had something to prove, and I realised that, and doing the Unguarded Warrior, and all the work I've done, and all of that on myself, and all the reading, and like honestly, I've done thousands of hours of research and reading and nutrition, diet, exercise, wellness, mental health to fix myself. That was it. It was all selfish. And then I went on retreats and other, programs, and bought courses and done this, that and the other to try and, because I thought I was broken, to try and fix myself. And through all of that, I've come full circle and realised there's nothing wrong with me. It's just part and parcel of life, and it's accepting it, surrendering to it, and then letting it go, and then moving on from it.
Someone said to me the other way, because I've got a real problem with surrendering, and they
Men
said,
have.
Yeah, and they said, look, Tim, what you need to do is probably reframe it and not have the word surrender, but allow instead of surrender. I know, but it seemed to help me with it, that I'm allowed this to happen, instead of, look, I don't want to give up control of me, James. I'm like, I'm not fucking surrendering to a fucking nobody. Do you get me? But I'm kind of, look, I'm allowed. Obviously, you must hear this kind of stuff all the time.
All the time. And you know, here's the thing, Tim. It's only like all of this stuff is how I see, how I've interpreted what I've read and what I've done, and the lessons that I've been through, and now the people I kind of help, I interpret it how I feel and how I think. And I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or whatever. Or anyone
Just your way.
Right. I don't think just because I'm saying it that everyone should go, oh, yes, you're right, James. Yeah. I'm like, who the fuck am I? Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Oh, I just did.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, who am I? I'm fucking no one.
Yeah.
You know, but then I'm everyone, and I'm everything and I'm nothing. And we all are. We're all the most important thing on this planet, but we're also fuck all. And when we can realise that we're everything and nothing, then I think that's when magic starts to happen.
Yeah, beautiful that, mate.
Well, that's just my opinion, as well as this is someone I say on Unguarded Warrior all the time. Like, I need, like my wife, for instance, I love her, I need her, but also I don't love her and I don't need her, because she can't rely on me, nor should she, nor me on her. I'm not responsible for her. I'm not responsible for you, no one. You're not responsible for me. We've got a care of duty, I believe, as human beings, to care for another human being. But you're not my responsibility. Like that, I honestly, that is, I think we put all of that on ourselves because it's our egos that does it. I genuinely think it's our ego. Yeah. Even if we're trying to do good for people, you know, like, I've heard people say, no, I'm responsible for 50 people, you know, for their livelihood and blah, blah. Well, no, you're not. If you weren't there, they'd go and get another job. Like, who do you think you are? Like, who do we think, you know? So I'm like, let that shit go. Surrender to the fact. And here's my thing with surrender and control. I believe we've got zero control over anything.
I don't really want to hear that, James, but go on.
For me, good and bad is going to come whatever in your life. You can't, like, now something could fly through the window and kill us both, and how would we know? A plane could crash into anything, someone could come in here and just, whatever it is, we've got no control over that. So why are we constantly worrying about it and trying to preempt everything? Because something's going to happen, whatever, good or bad. Yeah. All we've got is what I believe is we've got here's my other thing. This is going to be controversial for a lot of people. We've also got no control over ourselves. And I know this is a weird one as well. Right. This is a weird one because at the moment, everyone's like, control your breath, control your emotion, control your finances, control this, control that. And for me, even me saying all that stresses me out. It just imprisons me even more. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, for me, I let go. So now I surrender to everything. I realize I've got no control over what's going on, but all I can do for me is manage what happens here and what comes out of here. That's it. I can only manage my emotions and my responses, not reactions, because a reaction is something. A response is a process. So if something happens, I can then go,
give it a second.
What am I going to do here? Yeah. What happened here? What happened to that person cutting me up? What happened to them? Instead of going, you know, in the past, fucking what, you know, and then wanting to get out, drag them out of their car, smash them up, do whatever. I don't need to do that anymore because I've surrendered to the fact that I've got no control over what that person's going to do. I've got no control over what I'm going to do because at times I can still react. So then I go one more and go, well, if I can still act like a dickhead, well, why do I expect them to not act like a dickhead? Who am I again? Like, how dare I expect someone else not to act in a certain way when I still do? Am I a perfect Zen human being? No, I'm just a fallible human being. So then I have a little bit of empathy for that person, and then it makes me feel better about myself because then I'm not so hard on myself. And that's where it all comes back to. It comes back to not hating myself, because I did. for my whole life because I didn't feel enough. But when I let go of all of that other shit, the programming, all of that, and realised that I am enough and that I care about myself. It's still difficult to say I love myself because I don't really, but let's not talk about that. But, you know, I respect myself now. That's why I used to abuse myself. That's why I used to sleep with women. That's why I hated women. That's why all the stuff I did, fight, this, that, try and be the big man, the ego, the drugs, because I didn't like myself. I didn't respect myself. Now I respect myself. So I don't want to, and now, so that makes me able to respect other people, whereas I didn't before. And that for me is the gold. And that is what Unguarded Warrior is all of that.
Yeah, I love that, mate.
That's me. And
because a guarded warrior, he's guarding his ego, he's guarding his thing, but an unguarded warrior, you can still be a warrior, but you can also let in love, you can also let in...
There you go. And that is what we get wrong as men, I believe. Again, we think by being... By letting stuff go and being passive and all of that and flowy, and we're not dominating our environment and we're not doing this, and that's not what being a man is. For me, for being a man is being able to flow in between, being able to let things happen and go with it, but at times knowing your boundaries, knowing that you're not, you know, I'm not going to take that, I'm not going to allow that. Biggest lesson I've learned in the last few years of my life was the Will Smith scenario. Honestly, biggest lesson in my life. You know, with my wife. You know, my wife is a quite well-known celebrity and, you know, singer, actress, and I was very protective over her. God damn, that taught me a lot.
Talk to me about that lesson for men. What happened in that moment? What went on?
For me?
Yeah, for you, from your perspective.
It made me realise that I need to shut my mouth more. Which is very difficult, A, for men, and B, for me. But we think we've got to fix, you know, and deal with this, and I'm responsible for... That's why I'm not responsible for my wife. She's a fucking grown adult. Who do I think I am? Like, she can do her own shit. Until it comes to the point
where... The warrior has to kick in.
Right. That's still in me, you know. I was a pro MMA fighter, you know. I was a fucking angry little lunatic. I've still got it in there if need be, but I don't need to prove it to anyone now, particularly myself. That is the key thing. I don't need to be that. I just don't care about that anymore. And that Will Smith scenario taught me that I don't need to fight my wife's battles. She's got her own mouth. It's like, shut mine and let her, but not just her, everyone. I don't have to fix everyone, because I'm just trying to do it for myself. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me, for my own ego, for my own whatever. That's not like that for me. And I see it so much. I see it. I see people, the way they're acting and being, because I see myself in them. That's all it is. I'm not judging, but I just see myself. I see the pain that I was in, the prison that I'd locked myself in. I see it on men's faces. I see it in the way they act. That scarcity mode that we're in, that we're always in. I was in it all the time. Scarcity mode was holding on, angry, guarded, you know, like... all of that stuff. And I can't, it was killing me, Tim. Like, genuinely, it was fucking killing me. And I couldn't do it anymore.
But how did you start the process of getting out of that? Like I said, it's not like, obviously you've had a lot of shit going on, but was there not just one moment when you thought, right, okay, I'm changing this now?
Right.
In this moment, everything, I'm changing it.
Okay, one of the biggest, right. So this is another quite a weird thing that I've got. Like, I don't believe my story too much. And this is a weird thing again. I've got quite weird views on stuff, like unusual, that I don't hear a lot of people say. My story, all the stuff I just told you, there's loads more to it. Loads of dark shit, loads of great stuff, loads of whatever. I don't even know if it happened like that. I don't know. And nor do I care, because it's just a fucking story. Like, it's got no holding on, it's got no hold on me. Just like my family life, my upbringing, it's got no hold on me. I don't care. I don't care where I was born. I don't care what class I was in or what thing, because it got no bearing over now. This person here, what bearing has any of that got? Yes, there's programming it, but I can be whoever I want to be now in this situation. And that's the power we've got as a human being. We don't have...
How do people get out of that, James? How do people
we surrender. We surrender to whatever was, to whatever's going to be, and we let go of it. Because it does not matter.
I've got a real problem here with meditating, right? And I feel that what you're talking about right there now is... I sit in the meditation thing.
I didn't.
And I'm like, I'm fighting it all
know,
the time.
you will, yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I just let it be and just put everything to one side and just like let be in that moment? Fucking hell, I'm just like 5 minutes. I'm just like, fuck it.
It's a mind bender.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't meditate that much. I'll be honest with you. My meditation's done in cold water.
Right.
For the 3-4 minutes or whatever, I'm in cold water. That's my meditation.
You can't think about anything, can you? They're in much fucking pain.
Do you know what I mean? You know, you like, but that, if I know I can cut again, I can't control that environment. All I can do is manage my response to that environment. That is, I genuinely believe, where we're getting things wrong.
Yeah.
Particularly as men, because we're always trying to control. Always. And it comes from one place. Once we realise it comes from one place and one place only, then we can then let go of that and surrender to that. And it's not feeling enough.
Yeah.
Once we know that we're enough, Tim, you're enough, I'm enough. Once we know that, we truly believe it, which is really hard. It's really hard.
But if someone's saying it, I'll be you,
But if we don't tell ourselves it, then how are we going to believe it? Like in the mirror, on the Unguarded Warrior, we do a thing. I do a printout. You are loved. You are strong. You are brave. You are kind. You are enough. And we get everyone I print it on a mirror, and you say that to yourself every day. And we then, hopefully, they go and they carry that away. And we add in, so there's a woman, Mel, I can't remember her second name, but she's a psychologist on Instagram, Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
She does the high five thing.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen her.
I've mixed that into the you are enough into the high five after. Yeah. So, you know, mate, we're all doing it. We're all just copying shit and putting stuff together. But I put the two together, and now it's mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm like, whatever. That's just, it's
a powerful thing to look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of yourself, isn't it? I mean, like in my 20s, I've told you about talking to my mum. Like I was telling her that, you know, through my 20s.
How old are you, mate?
I'm 48.
Okay.
I was just kind of, through my 20s, I put my pleasure before my purpose, right? Women, drugs, just absolute dick. And I could not look at myself in the mirror because inside I truly knew that I'm just like, you're just fucking selling yourself out. You're like a prostitute. You know what I'm saying, don't you? But now I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like so proud of the man that looks back. And I totally get what you're doing. That thing that people looking at themselves and it's empowering, isn't it?
It's so powerful. And because we hide away, and I think we're like, I see it all the time. We're just running. And I still do it in a lot of ways. I'm not sitting here saying, and that's the other big thing. Like everything I say, everything I'm putting outwards nowadays, it's like I'm come out of my body and I'm watching myself say it, and I'm listening to myself and I'm going, I understand it. Yes, and it's like I'm healing myself every time. And I speak to a friend or whatever, I'm not telling it for them. I'm just being a selfish bastard. I'm telling it for myself. Yeah. So I'm not like in my 30s, and you'll know this. When you're in your 30s, you're like, you want to you just trying to get everyone to believe, you know, and like, you need to do this, and we're telling everyone, aren't we?
Yeah,
now I'm like, I'm still speaking it, but I'm not saying it because I think everyone should live like that, or everyone's going to do it, or everyone should listen to me. It's my opinion. You've only got to spend a bit of time with me and you'll realize that I live like it. I'm not off doing all this other bullshit. You know, I'm not spouting this and then living a different way.
Yeah.
I'm just not. Yeah, I still make mistakes. Yeah, I still do whatever, but I'm like, I walk the walk and I talk the talk. I'm as best I can, to my ability, as best I can. Again, I'm not so hard on myself as I used to be. You know, the morning routines, if I don't do one morning routine, I'm like, you fucking loser. You know, I'm like, chill out. You know, and that's another big thing I try and put across on the Unguarded Warrior is that Unguarded Warrior is very process-led. You know, we do retreats, and I do day retreats, and we do stuff for businesses, and, you know, we've done half-day retreats at the Ned Club in London and Soho Farmhouse as well, which has been, you know, amazing. We've got another retreat coming up soon, a little half-day one at our new office and stuff. So that's cool, you know, and these are all great, and the processes, and, you know, it helps, and having them processes and someone to fall back on is great. But my big thing is, you don't need any of it because it's already there. Just like you don't need a fucking beach in Bali because it's in there, because you're still the same person on that beach in Bali. It's you're just hiding from whatever was going on. So yes, getting out of a situation can really help, and moving and all of that, but you're still, it's still going to follow you because it's you, it's us. That, and so it's like, it's accepting that, you know, it's acceptance as well, and ownership. Like, they're my big things, like massive ownership, you know, and self-reflection for me is what changed my life.
Yeah.
And that, I think, what you were saying earlier, what was the big catalyst? I think there's a couple of things, like when I lost a lot of money, like a lot, and money was everything to me. Like, that was my goal in life.
That was your identity, money, things.
Yeah, it's because again, my story, I came from nothing, and fuck whatever, you know what I mean? That doesn't, so what, you know? But I had a scarcity mindset. That was my biggest issue. And that scarcity mindset, doesn't matter how rich you are, is a motherfucker. It will bite you in every walk of your life. Doesn't matter how much money you got, what you're doing. And men, we are absolutely perfectly balanced and you know, hardwired to be scarce mindset. And you just see it all the time. You see it with men, you know, like the multi-millionaire guy who still drives the same car and lives in a crap house. That's a scarcity mindset. Why bother having that money? You don't do anything with it, so what's the point? So it's like abundance for me. So going from Unguarded Warrior, taking men from the scarcity mindset into the abundant mindset all the time while knowing you're enough. That's kind of like, you know, that's the journey. Surrendering as well. That is kind of the path that I'm trying to take men on the weekend, is coming out of that, letting go of it, coming into your power again, taking back if you've been given, because everything that happens to us, and here's another thing that people are going to hate, and people do, it's a tricky one to get. So not only am I saying to men you need to surrender, which is already like, oh, that's a pussy move or whatever, and I'm like, okay. It's also you know, the scarcity mindset thing is basically every situation that's happened in your life is our own doing. Everything.
Extreme ownership.
Everything. So that is every single bad scenario. If you think someone's ripped you off, no. You gave them the ability to do that to you. They're just following your energy. That's it.
Bet people don't like that one, do
People hate that one, Tim. They hate it, mate. And I'm sorry. So I hate it at times.
Yeah.
It sucks. You know, the other day, simple thing, a van, supposed to come up here last week to help my friend, you know, move some bits and run around. The van company couldn't get the van on time. There was a 2-hour window. It was just, you know, small print, blue, you know, whatever. I had a phone call with them. They're going to charge me 90 quid to cancel the van. And I was like, how can you charge me 90 quid to cancel the van? You know, well, we've got a clause in the agreement that is, we've got an hour and a half overlap and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I wanted to explode and go, well, where? And I just went, okay. And I just put the phone down on the woman because there was no point arguing. And even that was a bit fucking, you know, still childish. But I was like, I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to go for a little walk and I'm going to accept it, that I didn't look into it properly. Because that's what it was. It's not them. It's not the fact, it's me. Yeah. And every snow, when I lost that money, I didn't lose it, I gave it away. When I had this happen, it was me. Everything is architected by us. That is, and as soon as we can accept that, that was my biggest thing, is one of my biggest things in my life. Everything's changed. Because now I don't hate on people. Now I don't judge people. Now I don't hold stuff against people because it's not their fault.
It's a big thing, that, isn't it?
So I've got
people are doing
right, because I've got no one, and even me, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's just part of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm not blaming myself. I'm not blaming them. It's just a lesson that I need to go. It's a lesson. Am I going to learn from it and move on? Or am I going to bitch and whine about it and hold on for the rest of my life about something that happened? And the only person I'm upsetting is who?
Yourself.
And once we can, and that for me, Tim, once I realised that the only person by holding on to something that I'm upsetting is me, what am I doing? Like, I'm not the brightest person in the world, but even that is like...
Yeah, bonkers. Yeah.
So we're running around as men, shouting, screaming, arguing, like trying to fight battles that aren't ours, and like... and all that. For what? For our own ego, because we don't feel enough.
It's just that... It's a big thing, that, isn't it? And is this most people that are coming to you for? Do they know what they're getting from when they come to one of your retreats?
They don't know what's wrong.
What are they coming to you for?
They don't know. They don't know what's wrong.
They just feel a calling. They think, I need to go to these men's retreat, bit of mental health awareness, might do a bit of cold water, and then...
Some people are coming for different things. Some people are... You know, men, like, we won't go to the doctors, we won't talk to anyone, we won't, you know, we'll just go down a pub, drink loads of thing, and you know, we mask everything. Like, as human beings, not just men, but we mask stuff. My big thing is feeling, you know, feeling's okay.
Yeah.
But we're told to not feel as men. So we've been caught up in this kind of, oh, well, you know, man up, you know, all of that stuff. Yeah. Don't feel emotions, you know, anger. Anger's usually our go-to emotion, but now we're told, or we've been told for years, you can't get angry. Like, I've been on men retreats, and they've been to see a psychologist or whatever. You're not allowed to get angry. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What? So what are you going to do with all of that? Oh, I haven't been angry for 2 years, he said. I was like, you're fucking going to kill someone. Like, you're going to kill your wife, mate, one day. And we did this, you know, anger release thing.
What's
mate.
the anger release thing?
Some of these people, they do like this. I don't do it because I don't feel that we need to, because that we do other stuff to release. Like some of the men's group stuff, they do a lot of sitting around just talking and then not much action with it. So I believe empathy plus action equals great rewards. Yeah. I mean, like, more than anything, like, empathy's great. So sitting around talking, sharing, love it. For men, I don't believe it's enough. I believe then we need to cement that with something. Get up, move, go and do some, make it, and then release, do some exercise, but not beasting. I'm not into that. I did that 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, training to be, when I was fighting. That didn't make me happy. Yeah. And that's where I realised, Tim, that I did all this stuff and none of it made me happy. Like when I had all that money, it didn't make me happy. Like what was the amount then? It just made me give it away because I was like, I need to make more. And then I jumped into something and I didn't do my due diligence because I needed more. And then like the MMA, I needed to prove myself because I wasn't hard enough. It's like, fuck. And now I've surrendered and released. I don't like even the Unguarded Warrior stuff. Doesn't define me. It's something I love doing to help men now. But I'm not like some guru who thinks he's got all the answers because I haven't. I've just got a system that does help men. It does. Not going to help everyone, and not everyone's going to find whatever they want from it. But we have saved some lives. Genuinely, people have come and wanted to end it, and now they don't. And it's not a fix-all for everyone all the time, but if you take some of the stuff, there'll be something that can help. And then we've got a little community, and that's what I'm really trying to build. Like the retreats and everything's all great, but for me it's building a community, a platform, which I want to do, that brings men together, that lifts men up. Because we put each other down a lot, and that scarcity mindset, we're all guarding. This is mine, mate. I don't want you to see what I'm doing because I'm important. I've got this, or I haven't got. That's a big one. I haven't got this, so I'm going to back away. When I lost my money, I just backed away because I was like, what am I going to say to people? I'm so embarrassed. I'm so ashamed, and that shame is why I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
So that and that's why I believe what I've seen with men, like why they want to getting back to your question, what they want or what they're coming to the retreat for. I feel like at our age, I'm 47, so I feel like at our age, for me, you look back and go, oh, what was I doing? Like, what was the last 30 years? What has it meant? I'm sure you felt like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So you're like, what am I doing? Yeah. Like, what have I been doing? Yeah. So then you feel lost. And then it's like, so, shit, what am I going to do? Like, I'm in this job that I don't really like. My family life feels like this as well. I'm doing that. I know it's not right. I'm slipping about still. I might be doing a little bit of gear. I might be drinking a bit much. I might be chirping the women still for my own ego. Yeah. Am I happy with that? I'm not, but how can I change it? Everyone else is doing it. Like, Unguarded Warrior is not a judgmental way, but it's another way. The motto is there's always another way. It's just to come out of that life and go, well, okay, that's okay if people want it, but is it for me? No. And that's where I was. I needed to get away from that. And I needed to be honest with myself, and that's so hard, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I struggle.
That's why, what I struggle with, mate, is I struggle seeing these posts and because just be you, hun, or be you, boo, or what. I'm just like, you've even got a fucking clue what that means. To actually do that, you don't know the darkness that you need to go through to be yourself.
But I don't know who I am, and I bet you don't, and nor do I. And here's the other thing that's going to blow people's heads, or yours, or whatever, or mine. I don't care who I am. I've got some core values that I try to be a good person, I try to help people, and I try not to be a twat. I don't manage all of them all the time, okay? Yeah. And them values might change because, again, I've got no set rules. Like, they're values that I believe in, but they're not. I'm not going to die for them. I'm just going to try and do them if I can. So outside of that, that's me. I'm going to try and be that person. And that's it. Like,
so if somebody asks you the question, who are you?
I don't care who I am. I'm just a human being. I don't care. I'm not James O'Keefe. I don't even care about my name. I've let that go because I don't like that whole thing of family. Oh, I'm an O'Keefe. Oh, like, who cares? Like, it's just a name. It's not anything. We're just bits of floppy skin, like, that are here for a few years. Like, who cares? And I think we get so caught up.
Do you talk like this when you're a tree?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I do.
Do people get turned off by it? Because to me, it's refreshing, right?
Yeah.
But to like it.
Some people find it difficult, but this is just my truth. And again, my truth doesn't mean it's the truth. Because who am I?
Nobody.
Exactly. And nor do I care. You call me a nobody, and I like, yeah, of course.
Powerful, isn't
Well,
it?
because then once I've surrendered and been okay with it, what is anyone going to do to me?
Fuck all.
Right.
Nothing.
In the nicest possible way.
It's like on the 8 Mile when the last fucking rap battle of MMA.
Right, yeah.
He just lays it on the fucking line. It's like, what have you got at me
And
now?
that is the thing, and I don't have to do it. Like, it's like that unfuckable thing, but I'm not doing it because I'm guarded against people, because I'm like, oh, fuck everyone. I'm doing it because it's like, I've just let it go because it doesn't mean anything. And I just feel like, and even when I say it, I feel like it's just washing away every time. The more I talk about it, the more I talk about my past experiences, the bad things I've been through, the trauma, that it's got no power over me, Tim. None of it. It doesn't scare me anymore. It doesn't hold on to it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding behind it anymore.
Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is the word fearless. And to be fearless in this world is a fucking powerful thing. Not to be scared of anything.
But break it down. Fearless.
Yeah.
You just got to fear, but it's ourselves. You just got to fear what's inside us less. So once we fear what's inside us less, we can just let it out and just let it out. Let it out to people. Show that vulnerability. It's okay. Like, it's okay to go and, like, I still judge people. I try not to, but I'm a human being. I can't not. Someone walks in a room, but I check myself now. Someone walks in a room, they're a bit geezery, and I'm like, fucking prick. I'm like, no, you're the prick. That's because you're insecure about yourself when you walk in a room. So that's why you're saying it. Go and speak to him. Go and be friendly. And that's it. And that's what I try and do in every situation, and try and self-reflect on everything that happens. If I have a bad word with someone, or I have an issue, or I don't have an issue, or whatever, I try and self-reflect on everything. I do my absolute utmost best to self-reflect in every scenario and go, am I living the way that I genuinely, feel that is nourishing me and other people around me? Am I making them feel safe? 'Cause that's my real goal in life now, is just to make people feel safe around me, because I didn't before. No, I don't like that. I don't like to be that person who has it all about them, even though I'm bloody now, this person doing these retreats and stuff, and I'm the one standing there. It does make me feel uncomfortable still, because I don't want people to, even now talking, you don't have to believe me. Who cares? And here's the other thing that's gonna fucking blow your mind. All of what I've just said, I don't care about it, because I don't even know if it's real or not. Tomorrow I might believe a completely different set of things, because why shouldn't I? You might come away from me, we might have a conversation, and I'll go, yeah, I don't believe a lot of what I just said now, because you might have come across in a better way that's made me think differently.
Change your perspective, yeah.
And that doesn't mean I'm wishy-washy or whatever, it just means I'm open to go, actually, that's a really nice view, I might add that in and just let one of my things that I believed slip away. Because why not? Because if I'm holding on to it all the time, I'm stuck, I'm scarce. I'm in that mode all the time, for me. And that is when I've surrendered and let go of it, then I can grow, really grow. And that for me is Unguarded Warrior, is letting go. And there's a lot in there to unpack, But the basis is just letting go and taking ownership. Once we do that, as men, man, we're like the growth and the power that we have, and by power I just mean just fucking happiness, and like not even happy, just contentedness and inner peace. And that's what I believe we're looking for, rather than happiness.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. You do. People are chasing happiness, aren't they? And they kind of what's it? I've got this kind of mantra going on in my head at the minute, and I keep saying it's just let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
Mine's let it go.
Right. Okay.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
You cannot grow until you let it go. That for me is key, and that letting go is surrendering. And you can say allow and all that, but it's again you're just deflecting it. You're like
it makes it easy.
Trying to slip punches.
It makes it easy for him.
Exactly, but that's the issue. If it's easy, it's not working.
I don't like that, James.
I'm sorry. Because allow is you're still allowing issues.
Yeah.
You know, you're still allowing, instead of going, well, I'm surrendering, so I'm actually going to take ownership and I'm going to let it go. So I choose what happens. I don't allow, I choose everything. I choose for a situation to be like this.
You've changed my perspective on it, mate. You've changed my perspective on it. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And it takes work, and that's why it's hard. And then when you go through a bit of that, and it does, and you sit with it, and you go, "Fucking, it's just so hard." And you hate the situation, but you love. And that's the thing, because I'm always gamifying stuff. I'm just like, well, it's only a game, because it is. Like life's a game, and I'm like, well, if it's got no bearing over, like really, because what. If nothing can really hurt me anymore, which obviously I know, like dying and this, that, and the other, and I've had so many bad shit happen. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. And I'm still here with this mindset, with that abundant mindset. That is like just letting it go and just going, whatever, just ride with it, just flow.
Nice, that, isn't it? That's nice.
But it does take work, and it does take really soul searching, but sitting with your feelings and not masking them with drink, drugs, women, porn, whatever it is.
I did a talk last week, the week before, at the NEC in Birmingham.
Nice.
Right? So I started talking, and I thought, fucking Billy Big Bollocks, fucking man.
Yeah, I'm the governor.
So I fucking remember this story about when I first started off, I moved into mum's second bedroom, and the fucking thing just hit me. Next thing you know, I'm on my fucking sort of like bent over, fucking tears are just streaming out my fucking thing. I just forgot them beautiful fucking moments. And I'm just like, it is that moment, just like, I need to stop crying. I'm fucking like, I don't want to show this fucking, and I just like, I think I just let it go. And it just like went, people just started clapping, show my vulnerability. And so I was just like, fucking hellfire.
Mate, wow, and that's the magic, and that and you don't like. Not everyone has to get to that point, but there's so much het up inside, and that's why I say that control, that prison. We do it to ourselves. We can try and blame our parents, our upbringing, our wives, our uncles, our cats, our dogs, our ferret, our whatever. I can blame that tree, but anything. I can blame whatever I want. But
you can always make an excuse up. It's someone else's fault, can't you?
To that. It's this thing right here, this floppy, stupid head, skin. Nobody that's everything as well.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And the moment I really, truly accept it, then everything changes.
What's your thoughts on... Look, I'm not saying that you do this at Unguarded Warrior, but like ayahuasca and like, because I did a mushroom ceremony quite recently.
Yeah.
And really,
how was that?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Dark, horrible.
Yeah.
But beautiful.
Yeah.
I was shown some things that I forgot about, let some things go. Going back on another one, I'm just going to go with that process. I just wondered what your thoughts on that side, the plant medicine side.
I think, look, for me, again, not that my view really matters, because again, whatever, but for me personally, I did enough drugs when I was young to like kill 17 horses, so I'm like, I don't want to.
It's a lot of horses.
I know. I don't really I don't feel the need. I used to feel the need to do ayahuasca and all that. But I don't really feel the need to do it anymore. And because of letting go so much and my mindset now, I'm like, I don't feel like I need to. You know, I've got some gummies that I do with a little bit of THC in. I do like half a gummy at night. If I go out, like my wife's doing a gig or something, it's just a bit much. I take a little half gummy now, and it just takes the edge off everything. And it's just like, oh, that's nice. And that's the only thing I do now. And the odd glass of natural wine. I don't know if you do natural wine, but it's like a game changer, mate.
I don't drink.
We'll talk about that.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's but that's all I do now. I don't drink like anything. I don't really drink beer or like even normal wine now, but a little bit of that. And that's really, you know, I just drink sparkling water if I'm feeling a bit bougie, you know. Maybe a bit of lime in there, son. You know what I mean? I'm like. But my thing on plant medicine. Yeah, look. Go and knock yourself out if that's your thing, and you need to find, you know, yourself. But I think again,
it's weird how because it's not like I was searching, because I think you're absolutely right. I think I'm just after peace, mate, with myself, and just let it be. Right, I'd be fucking cool with that. But these things have kind of found me recently. Not I was searching for them, but they found me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
You know, I was talking to my business partner and friend today. I think we use a lot of things as deflection tactics. Like I use still exercise as a deflection thing to when and in a way, cold water, breath, whatever. I'd use it as a deflection thing, as like it's okay. I'm still doing the work as a human being, but I wouldn't be doing the work, you know, like that I need to be doing. Does that make sense?
A fucking perfect sense.
Right.
Perfect sense.
Right. Because sometimes I know I just waffle on, but yeah, I think, why I say this, I notice it with a lot of us, but me, I've noticed myself that I've recently joined forces with two business partners, and we've created this. We've got this space in Hackney Wick that's called The View. It's on top of a building, and it's beautiful. We've got an outdoor area. We've got a studio to do, you know, some movement, breath work, all of that good stuff. We've got a podcast studio, and we make, you know, it's just this beautiful energy. We've got people coming through and doing all creative stuff. We've got media coming, like really cool, like beautiful, like what you've got here. But we've got an outdoor area that's overlooking Hackney and London and all that. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that I want to build with our next, like a purpose-built,
right?
You know, what I mean,
we're lucky to get that just popped up, and you know, I've got an ice bath up there now from Tony at Stock Tank UK. So we're gonna, you know, all of that stuff. We're gonna build a perk, but I can't remember what I was saying. Where was I going before that? I was saying, I can't remember what I was talking about. Where I was going with that. But I think I was talking about deflection tactics, wasn't I? And I think everything I was doing was deflecting away from the core of what I was trying to do. I was in my kitchen, like working on Unguarded Warrior, my other businesses and stuff on my own, trying to you know, get everything done, and I was getting nowhere. But I was going to the gym, and I'd notice myself overtraining, and then I'd notice myself having to go in the cold water twice a day, or you know, like I'd be going for a swim in the morning longer. I'd be like, it's okay, I'm doing the work, putting off.
But are you doing the work?
Right. And that's the thing, we do it all the time, and I was just using something else to take my mind off of something, instead of working, like being honest with myself. What's going on? Why can't you put the work in on that? Why aren't you doing enough of what you could, not should, because I hate that word, but could be doing, you know, to grow what you're doing there? What is the real issue? It's because I don't feel enough. I don't feel I'm good enough, clever enough. whatever it is to achieve that at that moment.
Yeah.
So once I start actually stop and go, let's not use the gym, let's not use the cold water, let's sit with how I feel, right, then it's some scary shit.
Then it's some scary shit.
Let's not eat some food to make me feel a certain way. Let's not drink to make me feel, to forget or to get me in it. Let's not do mushrooms or drink or CBD or fuck, whatever it is. Let me just sit and just think, not on my phone, not have music, nothing. Let me just sit and think, what's going on here? Yeah. Let me start writing down, why am I feeling like this? Start, and that...
Yeah.
And that's what I'm...
special, that, mate, isn't it?
Well, but...
I was trying to do that, I take LB and we get in my truck and then we go up to the Lake District and we go wild camping, just me and him. And that's what I try to do. In the mountains, just sit there and then just think, what's going on? Why are you doing that? What's the, you know what I mean? Because at some point, I was going to the gym, right, to make myself big and strong so I could protect my mum from my abusive dad, right? I thought, no, it's not happening again, that. Fucking anybody attacks anybody close to me, I'll protect all of them, right? And that's why I was going to the gym at one point, and I was destroying myself in there. I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for other people. So everything he's saying is resonating with me. It's powerful, mate. It's really powerful. And I think a lot of people, like you said, breath work, cold water, are they really doing the work? Are they just masking it?
I don't know. But I know I was in ways to, for what I was doing with the gym and, and yes, exercising and cold water and all of these things are amazing. Like they're game changers. Cold water definitely helped to bring a lot of this to the forefront, and it was all mental. It's all been mental. It's been able to calm myself in cold water has made me find a stillness and a peace, an inner peace that I didn't have before. And I've been doing cold water and breath now for like 6 years, maybe 7 years. When Wim was kind of just coming. So
what kind of breath are you doing? Are you doing the Wim Hof or are you doing
I started off doing the Wim.
Yeah.
Because that was all there was, He came around and I was like, I'll try this. And so I used to go to the ponds, literally it's got to be 6-7 years ago. And Scott Thomas reminded me of that. He said, I remember seeing you 7 years ago and you were going on about it then. I was like, yeah, mate, it's a game change, And then I've kind of morphed, after, having Kev and stuff like that, I'm morphed now more into, I prefer the calmer breathing. I do a lot of
alkaline box.
Yeah, I do a lot. My favourite one is 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out, without disturbing my nostril hairs. So I do it really, really, really slow. And because that promotes nitric oxide in your body, that helps to oxygenate everything, all your bloods, everything. And then I do a bit of 30 kind of 40 big breath holds, a real big blowout. And then I do try and release the DMT. I usually do that 3 or 4 times a week. But even in a situation, anywhere I am, I can be driving along and I just get into that 5 in, 7 out, just to chill myself.
Through the nose.
Yeah, through the nose, but through the nose, out through the nose, but don't disturb the nostril hair. And that puts you in your parasympathetic nervous system really, really quickly, and it then promotes nitric oxide in your body. And it's powerful, mate. I've really had good feelings with that, and I've had good responses from people as well in breathwork, classes and all sorts. And I'm not qualified, I'm not qualified in anything, I am in other things, but, in what I'm doing, I'm not pretending to be. But I've had a lot of experience, in doing stuff and helping people. And when I don't know, I get other people in. And, we just try and... my thing is do no harm. Like, any of what I'm talking about, you follow any of what I've just said, what's your life... Well, you're not going to jump off a building, are you? You're not going to I've not told you to go and eat some raw cat shit or anything. I'm not telling you to go and eat a cat shit diet. It's probably not advisable.
Yeah, no.
Unless you like cat shit. But, that's it. Just do stuff that this can take care of, and that's it. And I think...
I did something for BBC the other day.
Oh, cool.
And I went into a school and did a talk about sharing my story.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of kids asked me the question at the end, how do you become a pirate? Because I literally said, I'm really, I'm a sort of daydreaming pirate, right? I just chart my own course. And my answer was, you've got to spend a lot of time on your own. Yeah, without people around you, without noises, without stuff like that. Like I said, the wild camping, and
it's impossible
really
now.
Sit there and...
No one's doing it.
Yeah.
No one is... Everyone has got their phone on.
Yeah.
People out running, they've got their ear things in that are messing with their brain as well.
Yeah.
Everyone is taking their mind off of everything all the time. All the time. No one, hardly at all, is sitting with themselves at all. Even in the bath, anywhere. We're all watching YouTube or this or that, and look, at times I'm no different, I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not sometimes either, but I try and do it as much as I can, just sit with myself, and that comes back to surrendering to, starting to respect yourself. And that respect comes, you can only build respect for yourself when you start respecting yourself. So that comes through
powerful,
that comes through starting to make some life swaps. That's part of the Unguarded Warrior, is sleep, nutrition, mindset, the way we talk to ourselves. All of these things, we start building the building blocks around what we do, and we start making little swaps. Instead of getting up in the morning and stuffing a load of junk in our mouth, we hold off for a couple of hours, and then we have a bit of a smarter diet.
Just talk to me about nutrition a bit, mate, and the sort of thing that you teach at Unguarded Warrior for people. And
so I've done like a ridiculous amount of research into nutrition and health and wellness, and what I've realised is that no one knows anything, particularly me. That's it. So from that point of view, I've tried every diet, every single fad, every diet, every training modality, everything. I've tried it. And I'm not saying that, because I'm some special human being, but it's because I'm mentally deranged, and I wanted to I always thought there was something wrong with me. I've got to fix my health, all of this stuff. And I've got an underactive thyroid, and I don't even believe that anymore. It pisses me off, but we'll talk about that. So all of this stuff, all of these things, my thing is eat natural, and you can't go wrong. That's it. You don't have to watch your calories. You don't have to count your calories. You don't have to do anything. If you get up in the morning, don't eat for a few hours. Don't stuff coffee down your throat for a few hours. I'm going to tell you why. This is a game changer for a lot of people. And then eat your first meal, eat as calm as you can for blood sugar level. You're going to have more energy and better sustainability throughout the day. So that means eating a more fat and protein-based diet in the morning, because if you eat sugar and carbs, your blood sugar levels are going to spike and cause you to have crashes throughout the day. It's not rocket science. I'm not a scientist, but look at the science. If you're smashing a big bowl of porridge in the morning, for me it makes zero sense. You can say all you want that it's sustainable energy. No, it isn't. It'll spike your blood sugar level because you're putting loads of shit in it. Everyone does. Some fake milk, some honey, spike your blood sugar level. Your carbohydrates will spike your blood. They're high on the glycemic index. I'm not a nutritionist, but so for me, we do a little bit of intermittent fasting. We then eat fat and protein for breakfast, and then we all natural, and then we natural food throughout the day, and we eat beautiful meals and all natural, organic. Everything's organic at the retreat. And that's how I live my life. And I'm 47 years old, you know, and I'm in decent shape. I don't get fat because of that. And if I eat more one day, guess what? I don't eat as much the next day. It's not like I don't. If I eat late at night, I don't eat. I eat later. I don't have to get up, you know, and eat at breakfast. I don't like. Stop it. Stop believing that we have to eat however many times a day. We don't. It's just marketing, all of it. Look back in history, it's all marketing. We're just having it shoved down our face.
Yeah, I only eat once a day, mate.
Great. And if it works for you, great. But if it works for you to eat 8 times a day, great.
Do that as well, yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, we've done it, I've done it, and it didn't work for me because but you got to look at like...
exactly what you're saying about chasing the sugar. I'm up and down, just like, fuck, he's doing me head in this.
Right.
My energy is like all over the shop. Just eat that. I eat at 7 o'clock at night, that's it. And just like throughout the day, my level's just beautiful, mate.
And then that works for you, you know? And that works.
Talk to me about the underactive thyroid. Because I'm interested in this, because I've had it.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, it fucked my life up.
Oh, it's so fucking boring. It bores.
I mean, obviously, it's my own fault.
Yeah, well, there's 20%, your parents, there's 20% now they found out, it's 20% genetics, 80% everything else.
Right.
So like you, I'm sure, mine was because I was massively stressed, doing loads of drugs, drink. Yeah. My life was a mess, eating shit. So then I go, oh, it's not my fault. Yeah. Well, it's not my fault, but I could have definitely helped myself. Yeah. It's an autoimmune disease, which they are helped by our environment. Like apparently it's like the 3 perfect storm together. You know, you have this happen, that happen, and that, you know, and a bit of genetics. Yeah. But it's only 20% genetics. It's like my dad drank himself to death, an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. Well, but it's hereditary. No, it isn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's monkey see, monkey do sometimes, but he's not me. Yeah. I'm not him. You know?
Choices.
It's choices. Everything I choose to, you know, and we can believe it or not. But thyroid... I'm just over it. I'm bored of it because no one knows what they're talking about, let alone I don't. I've got no idea about it still. Me too. I've done so much research myself and I still got no idea, mate. Me either. And my body still doesn't know what it's doing with that. So now I've gone from 175 micrograms. Now I'm down to 50.
Wow.
Because I chose to do it.
Yeah, I'm on 150.
Right, I was. Now, because they kept saying, oh, you know, have you got problems with blood tests now? And I'm like, they were constantly telling me to put it up and I'd feel like shit. And now I've taken it right down. Yeah. And now I'm on 50 and I kind of feel all right at the moment. I feel a bit mentally deranged, but that's probably the amount of drugs and gas I did when I was young. I think that's just you as a person. Doing gas when I was 14 probably didn't help my brain cells, did it? Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
Swan.
Mate, like, up the thing. At 14, what was I doing? I could feel my brain cells just going, I could see them like floating off into the distance. And I was like, let's do more.
Do you think you've got ADHD or ADD?
I got fucking everything.
Oh, yeah.
What are you on about? I'm like, of course, I've got everything.
Somebody who's got so much... like energy like that, and you put that down the dark path, it'll go fucking boom, see you later. But put it into the nice and the light, and like, wow, what you're doing now, all that energy you've got, and you put it on the right path. Fucking hell, what a difference you can make.
Yeah, but you have to. So again, I've got a different view on this whole addictive personality thing. Yeah, I think is bollocks. Like bollocks. Yeah, that's a different point of view. I think it's bollocks. There you go. Because if I've eaten deer shit, okay, before I've eaten a bit of deer shit.
Why?
Because I thought I'd try it. But if I had an addictive personality, right?
Open to cat shit,
right? No, yeah. Shit, so I've eaten that. Well, I'd be addicted to deer shit, wouldn't I? Because I'd just be addicted to everything. Yeah. Like I'd be addicted to everything if I had an addictive personality. Yeah. Well, I haven't, and I'm not. So I'm an all or nothing person. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Yeah. But if I tell myself and I've got an addictive personality, well, what the fuck am I doing? I'm telling myself that I'm going to be addicted to everything. Or like, if I do that, oh, you're going to be... I don't believe it, Tim. I'm not having it. Because I was a drug, you know. I'm not a reformed. I'm not a recovering. I'm none of that shit. I'm a person who did something and now I don't. That's it. I'm not anything. I don't need a coin or a this or a that or a cult or a king group to tell me that I'm something that I used to be that I'm not now. I just know that I'm not.
You'd be a mint cult leader, I'm going to be honest with you.
Fucking, I'm brilliantly. Yeah, I'm fucking mate. Imagine me with a cape and everything, like a white cape and like, you are now in my shit. Go and do that for me. Fuck, I wanted that when I was young. Now I'm like, shit. And that I've had to fight that with what I'm doing with Unguarded Warrior. Yeah. And some people are going to think I'm a twat, because, you know, I am. I like, at times, like, of course I am. And some people are going to think I'm full of shit. And that, I can't change. Like, I can't change who I am for other people. That's the big reality. I can manage what I'm doing here, and I try and treat everyone with the same respect and kindness and all of that, but some people are going to feel a certain way towards me, just like I used to feel a certain way towards people. I can't change them, but all I can do is keep continuing to do what I'm doing with the greatest amount of honesty and kindness that I can for. And I'm it's so bad now, I can't even tell a white lie. I can't even, like, if you know when someone rings you, your mate or whatever, and you go, oh, you come into that thing, oh, I can't, like, my cat, you know, you just make anything up. Yeah, my cat's paw fell off. Yeah, really, you know, and it's like, bollock. I just go, no, I don't fancy it, sorry, it's too much. And they're like, I always get like a silence. What? Well, I just don't want to go. Like, what do you want from me? Okay, then, or my family, like, no, I don't fancy that, because it's not, because I'll turn up, be arsey, or not feel great, or whatever, and not really enjoy it anyway, or not add anything to them. So why turn up and do that when it's not? I'm not feeling that energy in it, and that is how I now deal with everything in my life. What's the energy that I'm giving forward? Am I going to turn up, change the frequency in a negative way for people, you know? And am I going to lie to myself, put on an act, or am I going to genuinely turn up and be the person I want to be? And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's class that, mate.
I'm trying. I don't always get it right because I'm a fucking fallible human being, you know? Yeah. But yeah.
So what's next for Unguarded Warrior? What's coming up?
World domination. No, we've got a retreat coming on the 11th. December, which is this week, Sunday.
How many people have you got booked in for that?
Like 7 or 8 now, and then we'll have about 15 by the end of the week.
Amazing, mate.
And that's just a little 4-hour thing with a nice meal afterwards, like a Christmassy kind of thing. You know, bit of breath, cold water, some integration stuff. It's just beautiful togetherness. A couple of method things we do at the retreat, and then it'll be after Christmas because I had a retreat booked for this weekend. No, this weekend would have been, but the venue got pulled, so I couldn't do it at the venue anymore. So I was like, do I want to rush it? And it's a hard sell, Matt. I'm not going to lie. Men, as you well know, we're a hard sell for this kind of thing, you know, because we don't realise we need it until we're really over the point. Yeah. Like, till we want to kill ourselves. And we're killing ourselves. Yeah. So I'm trying to get us to preempt it a bit.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's just like, you know, if it's the way we sell ourselves. You sell it like branding to people, like one of the folks branding. But if you say, look, we do logos, they're like, oh, I know what a logo is. Oh, so you can't go in with mental health and fucking, I'm going to sort your thing out. You've got to go in, look, it's a retreat with cold water therapy and we're going to, like, yeah.
And it's finding that balance between, because I'm quite obviously I'm quite an action person, but I'm also now not beasting myself. Yeah. So I'm not into like making it too like, you know, it hasn't got to be like that. It hasn't got, hasn't got to be like that. I don't want that energy around it. I want it to be inclusive for everyone. If you're gay or you're, you know, not a strong person or whatever, or you're more like, you know, you prefer whatever rather than exercise, or what, you know, you were the guy at school who didn't want to change, you know, and do sports, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, we're inclusive for everyone apart from women. So we're not inclusive at all. But there you go. Don't worry about it. Women, you're all right. You get enough stuff going on. You got enough going on. You always do this kind of thing. So, and that's why I'm doing it, because men don't have that space. But I want to be inclusive for men of all walks of life to do it all. You know, the exercise we do, the cold water, you know, to eat a certain way. I don't have like vegan or meat, or we just go, this hasn't got that in.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I'm sick of labels.
Yeah.
You know, even a men's retreat, that winds me up a bit, but I have to do it. I don't like labels. I just think, look, we're just all trying to coexist, and yeah, I know we're men and women, but it's like we're just trying to exist together, and like putting us in boxes and stuff is just. And, you know, tribes and cults and this, that, and the other. Even Unguarded Warrior, when I get everyone there. This is our container, but we're inextricably linked by breath, by grounding, by everything, with every organism in the world. I try and get us to think about that, because it gives us more empathy for what's going on around us.
Yeah, that's cool, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
rather than just, this is our, you know.
Yeah, this is ours and this is our circle.
Because that's scarcity mode again. It's not abundance. It's not giving outward. It's... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
going to think about that.
Yeah.
Something that probably do a little bit.
Right. We have our little tribe, and we don't think, you know, about that person who's 10,000 miles away, starving. And I'm not saying we've got to cry for them and like all go and give them all our money or whatever, but just have a thought that there is someone the other side of the world or somewhere that might be down when we're up, or up when we're down. Yeah. And that's the balance, I think, in life. It's a seesaw. We're never there isn't ever that. There's always that. There's always a push-pull for me, because that balance again, it's like chasing happiness, because it comes and goes. Same with balance. When has anything ever been balanced? Yeah. Never. So it's always going to be out of balance, but you just got to be, if you've got an abundant mindset, then it doesn't matter. Because you're always just like, oh, well, it'll, you know, the light, and then it'll be dark, and then it'll be light again. And it's just keeping that floaty mindset of you know, we're going to go in and out of seasons. And that, for me, is like, that is the beauty of life, rather than looking at it negatively.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the let it be thing. I really like that. The flow, just, it is what it's going to be.
Let it go. Let it go, and it'll just flow. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, every morning I get up and I still have my things I want to do, my grateful things, and they're all processes. Yeah. But every morning I do my movement. I call it calm before the chaos. Like, you know, another thing I invented. Yeah. I invent everything. I'm so clever, Tim. When people hold on to shit, mate, someone said to me, what about if someone copies? I'm like, mate, if someone copies what we're doing, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, well, then I'm the shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know, so we're all copying each other. Like, you know, we're all taking stuff from little things that we've learned or seen, or let it go. So what? Let's share. It's another scarcity thing. Just let's share it. It's like, have that. Because selfishly, again, I've learned the more I give, the more I get back anyway. So,
yeah, I love let it go. That's the biggest thing I'll take from this podcast, mate. Let it go.
Good.
Just let it go, man.
Oh man, I'm glad. If you get something, then
where can people find you, mate?
So Instagram, Unguarded Warrior.
Yeah.
Website unguardedwarrior.com.
Yeah.
And then James O'Keefe NRG is my personal Instagram. I also do a thing called I don't know if you've seen it, Two Men Talk. Have you not seen that?
No, I've not seen that.
Me and my mate, who looks nothing like what he is. He's got tattoos all over him, and like, you know, he talks like that, you know, but he's the most abundant, beautiful human being I've ever known. Like,
what's that
on Instagram and TikTok.
All right, and
it's just a men's discussion, two of us, and then we just put 20 seconds or a minute of something on there.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you can just, hear us waffle on a bit. And it's all about, all of this stuff is just helping some people not go through what I went through. Again, though, here's the caveat, mate. See, I say stuff and then I'm like, yeah, but if you don't, sometimes you can't go. And this is why this not responsible for people, Tim. This is why I say it. It's because if you don't go through it, then how are you going to have the resilience and the learnings and all of that? So when we're trying to cocoon our kids or our wife or our this or our that, or oh, you better wear your coat, or don't go out with your shoes on, what are we doing? Like, who are we doing it for? Like, I don't know.
It's just ourselves, isn't it? It is
I don't know. There's a lot.
I agree with that. I agree. People need to go through the hardships and the what's that you can't protect. They need to go through it and feel it and experience it themselves to make them the person that they are.
If I can, some of the stuff if I can say, just to have that mindset, that abundant mindset when you going through stuff,
those things,
and that extreme ownership. If you can have an abundant mindset from this conversation today, if you can have an abundant mindset with anything you're doing, and you take ownership of everything you're doing, every scenario in your life, I'm talking to myself again, will be easier and will pass quicker. The negatives will pass way quicker. You'll just get over stuff so much quicker because there's no one to hold it on to pin it on. Because even yourself, you've got to dissipate it. Just let it flow. It'll just go. And then you just go, oh, well, that was easy. Maybe it wasn't so that abundant. I'm going to get through that, whatever happens, because I've got through everything else that's got me here. Doesn't matter whether you're 15, 20, 30, 40, 90, whatever bad situation gone on, you've had loads before, you've got through them. Now go through them in an abundant mindset. And the way I did it, one of the biggest rememberings that I've got of it, in a queue, 2.5 hour queue at an airport, going away. Usually, me as a man, I'd be pissed that I'm in a 2.5 hour queue, yeah? You know, I can either stand there angry like that, which I would have done the whole 2.5 hours, or I can have a lovely time with my wife, chat, laugh, chat to other people in the queue. Right, you just smiled then because you know it. We choose how we go into every situation. Make the choice and choose abundance, not scarcity.
Finishing on that. It's fucking sick, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you,
love
mate.
you so much.
So fucking grateful,
so
mate. Everybody go and check out James on Instagram, Unguarded Warrior, book on his retreats. Mate, thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best.